Do you listen to yourself? There was a time when I thought I had to keep moving, keep achieving, keep proving my worth. Slowing down felt like a weakness, like I was losing my edge. But the truth is, the noise of the world had drowned out the most important voice of all, my own. It wasn't until I got quiet, truly quiet, that I started hearing the whispers of my soul, guiding me toward a life that felt aligned, peaceful, and deeply fulfilling. As high achieving women, we are so used to the grind that we forget to listen to ourselves. We have spent years listening to bosses, clients, and colleagues, always trying to meet expectations, always trying to be the best. But what about our own expectations? What about the quiet guidance that comes from within? The problem is, intuition doesn't shout, it whispers. And if we're too busy, too distracted, too caught up in the noise, we'll miss it. I remember when I was in the thick of my corporate career. On the outside, everything looked perfect. But inside, I felt exhausted, disconnected, and restless. My soul was speaking to me, but I was too busy running on autopilot to hear it. It wasn't until I forced myself to slow down, to sit in stillness and ask myself the hard questions, that I began to see the truth. My intuition had been telling me for years that I wasn't meant to stay in that world, that I was meant for something bigger, something more meaningful. And when I finally listened, everything changed. Listening to our intuition isn't just about making big life decisions, it's about making everyday choices that align with our values. It's about knowing when to say no to an opportunity that doesn't feel right, even if it looks good on paper. It's about trusting that inner voice when it tells us to rest, to take a break, to step back from the chaos and listen. Because when we do, we receive guidance that is far more powerful than any advice the outside world can offer. The world teaches us to second-guess ourselves, to seek validation from others, to follow a predetermined path. But what if the path we're meant to take is one only we can see? What if the life we dream of is waiting for us, but we can't recognize it because we're too busy keeping up with expectations that aren't even ours? When we slow down and listen, we begin to reconnect with our deepest truths. And in that space of stillness, we find answers, clarity, and direction. I've worked with so many women who tell me they don't know what they want. But the truth is, they do. They've just been ignoring that voice for so long that it feels unfamiliar. They've been drowning it out with work, responsibilities, and other people's opinions. But when we strip all that away and create silence, the answers become clear. Our intuition is always speaking. We just need to be brave enough to listen. There is an undeniable peace that comes from living in alignment with your truth. When you listen to your intuition, you no longer need to justify your choices to anyone. You stop seeking permission to live the life you desire. You trust yourself. And that is where real confidence comes from, not from external validation, but from an unshakable knowing deep within you. If you're feeling lost, overwhelmed, or unsure about your next step, I want you to try something. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just be still. Ask yourself, what do I really want? What is my soul telling me? The answer might not come right away, but if you make space for it, it will. Because deep down, you already know. P.S. What's one time in your life when you followed your intuition, even when it didn't make sense? I'd love to hear your story. Write back and share it with me.